getting visas to come to the U.S. At the
Yeah.
time, Americans had trouble getting visas to come to Pakistan. And that may be true, but, we don't want anything to hold up the delivery of the assistance.
Okay. So tell me what's your actually role going to be in this aid? Exactly what's your role going to be?
Well, I serve on the Appropriations Committee and the Subcommittee on State and Foreign Operations, and we oversee all of the administration of the aid. So when the Foreign Affairs Committee passed the Biden Berman bill, Biden-Lugar-Berman, or whatever it's been called now, their job was done. It's now our job in the Appropriations Committee to make sure the money that goes out under that bill is used effectively, that it gets to the Pakistani NGOs, that it improves the quality of life for the Pakistani people, that it helps keep the power on and helps move into renewable sources of energy, as opposed to creating another polluting giant like India next door. And so these are things that I'm going to be working on through the subcommittee. And one of the reasons I want to, tap into the Pakistani brain trust that we have in this country.
Yeah, that's very important question, that America really be able to help Pakistan in trade and investment. As you know that the Pakistan is a major allies. We are the partner of NATO since 1950, and our military relations, our government-to-government relation is very strong, and we have proven that we are the great friend of the United States of America. And the other country which is not doing much for America, they're getting the free trade agreement, other benefit, tariff relaxation, and the market access of their product. Why not Pakistan have a free trade agreement? Why not this ROZ bill should be passed by the Senate, already passed from the Congress, is staying for the Senate to pass, to start the reconstruction zone in Afghanistan and Pakistan, to provide and export the free trade agreement. Part of the free trade agreement, relaxation of the tariff to export to America. So why not? This is something which is a doable project. It's not controversial or patriotic act or some immigration laws. It is a trade. It is a doable thing. What's your opinion about that? Are you doing something for that?
Well, I have to take issue with one thing you said when you said it's not controversial. It is controversial because all trade agreements now, of large or small, are very controversial. We have, in the state of California, for example, right now, double-digit unemployment. We're at over 12% unemployment. Nationally, we're close to 10% unemployment. So the trade agreements are very difficult and controversial. Now, the ROZs are not a full trade agreement. They focus on particular parts of Pakistan where, there's a real need to develop some economic infrastructure, and there's a real national interest both in Pakistan and the U.S. that happens, and people are gainfully employed and can't be seduced by the money that the militants can offer them. So this is, a very important national security issue. But to your broader question earlier, is the United States doing enough economically to help Pakistan? Pakistan has had to be mindful too that things are tough here. That we have an enormous budget deficit and we have a large national debt, and so we're struggling with our recession here at home without infinite resources. You see, the challenge we face in the Gulf of Mexico right now and the devastation that's happening to all the people that live in the Gulf states. So it's not like we don't have considerable challenges at home. There are issues that we're concerned about with Pakistan that we need to make Pakistan aware of. For example, on the trade front, Pakistan is poised now to enter into a major energy contract with Iran. That concerns us greatly. We are trying to pressure Iran not to go forward with a nuclear weapons program.
Yes.
The whole international community has joined together on this, and one way we can put great pressure on Iran is through the energy sector. And so we get concerned when we see our friends and allies entering into contracts or agreements with Iran that will help support their energy infrastructure. And so this is a dialogue. It's not a one-way street, and there are issues that we have to take up with Pakistan as well.
Yeah, well, right. So that you have granted the civil nuclear project to India, okay, which is a big country, good economy. Pakistan is a poor country, lack of the energy, and people on the street fighting for the lights, and we don't have energy, and we don't have power plants to provide electrical services to their own people. And recently, the China is ready to help Pakistan in a civil nuclear project, and America opposing that too.
Well, as you may know, I voted against the civilian nuclear cooperation agreement with India.
Okay.
I did not like it for the reason that I think we're seeing right now, which is it's leading to a proliferation of these kind of agreements, or at least pressure to do that. So you don't need to persuade me on that front.
I know. Okay. Yeah. The other thing is, what do you think the role of the Pakistani American in America in economy, science and technologies, and other areas?
Well, I mean, it's just phenomenal. When you look at the Pakistani people, person for person, throughout the United States, and how well they have prospered, it's among the most successful immigrant stories there is in the fabric of the country. And we are wonderfully lucky that the Pakistani community is so large and vibrant and contributing so much to American prosperity. It's a tremendous community.
The last question is very important and very sensitive. As you know that America and Pakistan has a very strong relation. Pakistan doing is everything possible to fight against terrorism. Army general lost life, Air Force general lost their lives, and now the America a little bit inclining to the India's support on the border area. So many consulates opening near the bordering area in Balochistan. That's very concern to the Pakistani government and people of Pakistan. What do you think? How are you going to work out with this kind of a cooperation?
Well, you know, I would love us to get away from the kind of historic dynamic between the U.S., India, and Pakistan, where it was a zero-sum game. Any kind of improvement in the relationship with Pakistan had to mean degrading the relationship with India. Any improvement in the relationship with India meant it came at the expense of Pakistan. It doesn't have to be that way. And I'm encouraged at the increasing number of productive talks between India and Pakistan.
You appreciate that recent talk?
Oh, absolutely. And,
Yeah.
and you know, to the degree that relations improve between Pakistan and India, then the whole dynamic between the three countries change for the better. This is one of the most important, one of the most populous regions in the world. We are three countries that should be working together closely. One of the questions that I've asked our Secretary of State and that I've raised is, how can we work with India to give Pakistan the confidence it needs to devote more of its military power to fighting militancy, and rather than preparing for war with India?
Yes.
To the degree that India can take steps to give Pakistan the comfort level of knowing that it doesn't need so many troops amassed on the border, that it can focus more of its attention and resources to the militancy problem, that contributes to the effort. So these are obviously intertwined problems, and there's a cross section of them in Afghanistan, and there are at times conflicts between India and Pakistan over Afghanistan, concerns about whether Afghanistan is viewed as the strategic depth for Pakistan. So, you know, these are going to be continuing issues that we're going to have to work on and discuss and try to reconcile. But I would love to see us get away from the historic dynamic where you couldn't have a good relationship with one country if you want a good relationship with the other.
Yeah. Do you satisfy with the current regime on Pakistan?
You know, I have a good working relationship with the Pakistani government, and have been impressed with the determination of all the folks that I've met, both in the civilian and military leadership. It's up to the Pakistani people to choose their leadership, so I don't opine on internal Pakistani politics. But I'll tell you one wonderful experience I had on not this last trip, but the trip before. I invited the Pakistani press to sit down with me in Islamabad and to engage in a dialogue, and not to necessarily interview me, but to ask them their thoughts. It was the first time I think the Pakistani press has been interviewed by a foreign visitor. And it was fascinating. You know, I asked them, you know, what were their thoughts of the United States, what were their thoughts of what was going on in Afghanistan. And it was a truly fascinating meeting. But one of the things that was so interesting to me in reading the Pakistani papers is what an incredibly vibrant free press there is in Pakistan, how the opinions displayed were all over the map. And there were not a few conspiracy theories as well that appeared in the Pakistani print, including that I was Negroponte, which was speculation at the time of my visit.